Okay, I'm trying to do it from a better angle. I don't know why I'm talking more, really. I could talk about mental health because I know quite a lot about it. I did study psychology for A-level. I have read lots about it. I do know that you can't classify anybody as having mental health when they've been exposed to chemicals. All the time when I had my operations, when they sewed stem cells into me, amniotic membrane, when I was 19, I'd had 2 lots of, I presume, strong solvent anaesthetics over a 3-week period that affected me badly. Also, I thought I was going to have a baby. Because I'd had a bit of amniotic membrane sewn into me, my body must have thought I was going to have a baby. But that hasn't been dealt with. It's probably going to be covered up like everything else. In 2005, when I received irradiated Stomacare products and all the solvents went into me, then I was bonkers. Not bonkers, just like out there, you know, like people with mental health issues are. You're out there in the universe with everything, you know, which is just too much for the body, and often you don't eat or you don't sleep. That isn't really good for the body. It's great for like tripping out and being all, well, you know, God and the earth and all that, but it's not good for, you know, your poor brain or your poor body. So that doesn't count. And 2006, when the ethylene glycol was released under my flat in massive tons by another lot of radian workmen, I knew what had happened to me. I know it sounds funny, because of what happened in 2005, in 2006, I realised the chemical effects on my body, and I managed to control myself to a certain extent, and my mind. In 2009, when all the chemicals were poured down my flat and tons of solvents got up into my flat, whatever they were doing, the fracking, before they did the fracking. I'm not joking. My television aerial was on outside the window, and it came in through the kitchen window, the wire, and it ran round the house. And at one time there was like stuff dripping off the wire into my toaster. It was like flames almost dripping down. And I was in such a state, and so ill, so lack of sleep, so dehydration. I don't know, I lived through that either. I'm not being funny. You can't classify people as mentally ill. According to the diagnostic medical book, you cannot diagnose people as mentally ill if they have had a significant chemical event in their life, which all of mine were. I do believe perhaps people with mental health problems. I don't know about depression. I think that must be horrific to be really depressed. I've had a little bit of depression, but about not having kids and stuff, and bad relationships and low self-esteem. But to have it so that it's just a black hole going on forever, I can't even imagine what that's like. It must be horrific. Usually I know it's usually to do with a disturbance in the family, a lost relationship, or distancing from the family, or abuse, of course. That's fabulous for the old mental health. But I know I'm not mad or crazy or bipolar or anything. I'm surprised I'm not mad after what I've been through. I should be ripping my skin off, cutting myself open, gone to Coloplast and held up the building in Denmark with a gun or whatever. What I'm trying to say is, if you get sprayed with tons of chemicals and shoot up the school, you're not mad, you've just been done, all right? And to Dr. McCafferty, just be more careful about what you write. I hope you see this, and I hope you write things not so exaggerated. It is known that people that deal with people with mental health do tend to have mental health problems or mental issues of their own. I think Freud wanted to shag his daughter, or was it Jung? I can't remember. One of them had a bit of a problem. We all specialise in... I can't string my words together. I just I just want this to stop. I just want I've got a physical problem. I've had stem cells sewn into me. I've had my vagina cut out. I've had my womb taken away. I've had my bladder taken away. Let's see what else. I've still got my bowel. Holding on to that, though it's not looking good. And I can have an orgasm. Thank God for that. But what I'm trying to say is, I should be crazy, starts doing, but I have enough intelligence and insight to know either A, I'm an experiment, which shouldn't send you mad because there's lots of experimenting going on, or B, this is my karma, this is my life. So I don't have, when I was younger and I couldn't have kids and I was having sex, it was awful because you just naturally want to have a baby and you just naturally, no good to anyone else. You feel, as a woman, I was devastated. But I always had boyfriends and had steady relationships, be with them dysfunctional or not. I still had all that. I have had love, I have loved somebody. And I do think that gives you, if you can love, you can. Sorry for crying. You've been very lucky if you could love someone, that's all. But I'm not crazy. I just need my stomach sorted out. I need a decent quality PVC, and the bag's going to have to change. It can't just be one thing. It's got to be moved to move my body. I've had my guts sucked out by the bad design. I'm totally chemically contaminated because I can only use the bags from the flat because they were all chemmed up from whatever got poured down the drain in the fracking or whatever silly game is going on out there. And I'm so tired. I know science, I do know science. I do understand chemicals and things like that a bit. And I don't even know if anyone's ever going to see this film, I had it all set up. I had the bags coming. I don't know where I went wrong. I went to Technor Apex. They're a big company, plastics company, and they'd been making all the different ones because when I was with New Hope Labs in America, they made a nice-ish bag. Bad design, but decent PVC, so it didn't hurt me or suffocate me like the stuff they use now on everybody. But they changed my product 26 times in 5 years, so basically experimented on me. I got through to Technor Apex to Steve, I can't remember, Steve someone anyway, and he was getting it all sorted out, and then their legal got involved because they realised they'd been experimenting on me and they wouldn't help me, they wouldn't give me anything, they couldn't find the recipes for the plastic. I spoke to a bloke called Richard Va in America. He's the plastic supplier. He just went on and on and on about losing his granddaughter to cancer and a bad leg and this and that, and never phoned me back and never let me phone him back. So I'm not being unsympathetic about your granddaughter. I know PVC is not ideal, but that stuff they use, the cellulose ethanoate that you're putting on everyone, it's not breathable. It's not good. It will provoke an immune response in people that use it. It does have the cupping effect where you're like suffocating. This is what's kind of happened to me with all the stuff around my stoma from how I stick it together. I will show you at some point how it works, but all you're doing with the cellulose ethanoate that you're putting on everyone else is you're suffocating the bowel, which is a piece of the body that needs to breathe, and it can't breathe through that stuff. There's no anti-backflow, as I can see. You use the urine with the bad design. You use the urine as a lubricant instead of protecting the body from the backflow. The plastic's been around for 15 years. They've been trialling it on people for 15 years. I know someone that's now got motor neurons since he's had a stoma. I know people that have died of heart failure and heart attacks. Basically, if you've got an underlying health problem, by using these bags, they will exacerbate it, in my opinion. And of course, if I'm right, there's going to be a lot of trouble, isn't there? And no one's going to want to, you know, if you can stop one person like me, shut me up, get rid of me, say I'm mad, whatever you want to do, you can stop. I'm sorry, I'm just getting more and more depressed on the phone. I've on the thing, I've said everything I can. I've tried my best. There's loads more to tell, and I will try to make something cheerful for next time, but it's very difficult for me because I am at the end of all my tethers. I've only got a few bags left that are chemically damaged, but they're better than the ones they... That's the question. Why would I rather use chemically damaged bags than the ones that they're offering me? Oh, urostomy pouches, whatever you want to call them. I call them ouches. And I did go into hospital, but the stoma nurse never turned up. Jackie Holloway, in fact, the same stoma nurse that tried to get the bag stopped, that works for the companies. And when I went into hospital for a trial, I left hospital in agony. St Mary's, part of QA. I left hospital in agony. Spent the night awake. I was dozing when they came in the morning. I had an Indian nurse, I can't remember her name, she was very sweet, 7 months pregnant, not interested in at all about what was going on. All she could think about was her child in India and the child in her belly. And then the stoma nurse turned up on the Monday. I went in on Sunday, I think, one night. The stoma nurse, Jackie Holloway, turned up, and after telling me stoma nurses don't work weekends, mate, actually I'm not your mate, you know, and ignored everything I said. The doctors ignored everything I said. I left the hospital in agony in my kidney because of it was all sucked in and disgusting, and was told to come back. When I tried to get back, couldn't get back in hospital. Anyway, I suppose if anything else happens to me, at least this is evidence of how horrible my life is and what's happened to me.